the government has to step up and really help these people.
And I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to say that what's going on right now here on the island of Maui, it's a crime against humanity. And as you, as a fellow American or a fellow citizen of the world, if you're going to stand by and just let this happen without taking whatever appropriate action that you can take, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're adding to the problem.
So I went around back to Front Street, and there was all the cars were lined up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the Chart House. Not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. And I got to the end and I looked up, there were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. You know, these people got to get out of here. And he said, I'm following orders.
No way.
And so I just kept walking. Well, maybe he knows something I don't, you know. So, and I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind, no cars are coming out. Still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom.
Did you know that there are 2 sites in the U.S. that have these directed energy weapons? One is Nevada and the other is Maui. Let's start with this directed energy Air Force Maui optical and supercomputing AMOS site located on the island of Maui. May I quote from the website? Listen to this. Directed energy harnesses the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets at the speed of light. Question, why Maui? Answer, it's a new smart grid in Hawaii dubbed the, quote, Jump Smart Maui Project.
The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-powered microwaves. These weapons can disrupt or destroy their targets at the speed of light. For example, DoD has developed high-energy lasers that have successfully shot down drones, but speed isn't their only advantage. They're also less expensive per use than traditional weapons like guns and missiles. Despite those potential advantages, DoD has had trouble getting these technologies out of the lab and into service. The Army has developed a detailed transition plan to support moving these weapons into the next stages of development. We recommended that the Navy and the Air Force develop similar plans.
A pain and suffering has turned to anger for some residents tonight after national news reports saying FEMA workers have turned the tragedy into a vacation. Our Jelani Martinez joins us now with the details.
Steph, those reports came out just yesterday on Fox News and the Daily Mail. Evacuees say it's upsetting to see photos of federal employees in five-star resorts, knowing homes in Lahaina were burned to the ground.
FEMA booked themselves into five-star luxury Hawaiian resorts.
These photos making national news headlines, calling attention to FEMA workers on Maui in what appears to show them relaxing in five-star hotels. At the cocktail bar and at a registration desk at the Grand Wailea, another photo shows FEMA workers on their laptops at the Fairmont Kealani. It's rubbing devastated Lahaina residents the wrong way as they deal with the deaths of more than 100 people and a historic community wiped out.
I feel sick.
Dustin Kaleopu lost his home in the Lahaina fire.
So they're seeing government employees or government volunteers staying in these luxury accommodations, being funded by taxpayers. That's where a lot of the frustration comes from.
A FEMA official we spoke with does not deny they are staying at five-star hotels and that taxpayers' money is paying for lodging for employees and survivors, but says it's not what it looks like.
FEMA personnel and responders are not here on vacation. We're all here for the residents of Maui and the survivors of this terrible incident.
Daryl Habish says instead of the $1,000 a night rate, FEMA is paying hotels the government rate of $345 a night. Whatever the cost, political analyst Colin Moore says these are difficult times.
it's jarring to see these images of the people who are there to help staying in these luxurious surroundings. I understand the outrage. It's also important to remember that there's a per diem for the amount of money that government workers can spend. Obviously, alcohol isn't part of that. The amenities on a resort aren't part of that. They're there to do their job. And
more than 1,000 FEMA workers are on Maui, and more than 2,000 evacuees are also staying in hotels and other housing.
FEMA personnel are not taking away hotel rooms from any survivors at all. We will move out and live in tents. And believe me, we do that so that the available hotels are used for survivors and their families.
FEMA says it's dedicated to getting help to residents. Those in need of housing should register at UH's College, Maui College, or call their 24-hour hotline. Now, the Disaster Recovery Center, to be clear, is at UH's Maui College. Their 24-hour hotline is at 1-800-621-3362. You can also go to disasterassistance.gov. Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you.
The state-owned outdoor siren system is a tool that we can use, and we've used in the past. However, in a wildland fire incident, the system has not been used, either in Maui or in other jurisdictions around the state.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. In fact, on the website of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, the following guideline is provided. If you are in a low-lying area near the coastline, evacuate to high grounds, inland or vertically to the fourth floor and higher of a concrete building. Alerts may also come in the form of a wireless emergency alert. Had we sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone Mauka. And if that was the case, then they would have gone into the fire. And so that is the reason why our protocol has been to use WEA and EAS. By the way, I should also note that there are no sirens Mauka or on the mountainside where the fire was spreading down. So even if we sounded the siren, it would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
President Biden and the First Lady are set to visit Maui today to get a first-hand look at the massive destruction caused by the wildfires there. At least 114 people have been killed. The Maui County mayor now says 850 people are officially listed as missing. Lilia Luciano is on the island of Maui, where she spoke with a mother who desperately tried to get home to save her teenage son.
On what should have been Guillermo Fuentes' 15th birthday, friends and family honored his life at the same park where he learned to walk as a baby.
He had a very kind heart. A very good heart.
The teen was home alone, enjoying the last day of summer vacation, when flames tore through the town of Lahaina.
We saw the strong smoke in the air.
Fuentes' adoptive mom, Luz Vargas, who runs a local cleaning service, was working 5 miles away. As soon as they learned the fire was ravaging the area, she and her husband Andres jumped in the car and raced toward their burning neighborhood. With traffic at a standstill, she took off running.
I was told, don't go, but I responded, my son.
At one point, Vargas says she ran into a police barricade.
I threw myself on the floor. I lifted my hands up and I begged God.
After running past the officers, she says a man on a motorcycle took her to the front line of the fire, where a team of first responders assured her the area had been cleared.
I was told there's nobody there now. Have faith that your son got out.
2 days later, the family finally made it to the devastated home.
When we arrived, everything had been consumed by the fire. But when I got to his bedroom, he was there, lying and hugging my dog. But he was not as I expected, in ashes. God maintained him like this, so we knew it was him.
Vargas's husband Andres and their son Josue wrapped Calleros' remains in a tarp and carried his body half a mile to a police station.
When I get home at night, I'm flooded with the memories. I try to be strong.
Now the family is left grieving not only the life lost, but what could have been.
I wish I could have made more memories with him. He was too young. If we still had time, I know he would have been a very, very, very good man.
Luz says that Cato was always laughing and that just days before his death, he was giggling when she told him that his birthday celebration would be big and packed full of people. And Dana, it was.
Just devastating. Lilia, thank you.
Okay, so hopefully you already watched this.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui. So if you send a donation, just click where you see below and send a donation. That money is going to go to one of many residents who have been displaced in Maui. We guarantee.
That's right. I know a lot.
So we appreciate any support that you can give all the people who were calling.
Now listen to this.
You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that you somehow managed to hire a private firefighting team to protect your land before the fires started. You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you've hired a private security team to keep them off your land. You're so concerned about Maui that you simply haven't had time to denounce any of the shady real estate deals which are robbing people of everything they have, you know, like the ones you were involved in that helped you acquire that land for pennies on the dollar of what it was actually worth. You're so concerned about Maui that instead of taking what would amount to a year's salary for you and 4 or 5 of your billionaire friends, which could be used to rebuild the entire place in a matter of months, you're jumping on social media and asking the American public, most of whom can't afford to pay their rent right now, to do it for you. You're so concerned about Maui that it's more important that you get social media points than that you help.
Okay, man, I'm gonna leave you with this article from Forbes. Here's Oprah Winfrey real-time net worth. $2.5 billion. Here's The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And actually